I admittedly was late to the phenomenon that is Halo. I finally played Halo coming in almost 7 years after its original release, and like everyone else, I absolutely loved it. Halo Combat Evolved is one of the best games to ever be released on the original Xbox, and even after so many years, 16 now, Halo is still one of the best that science fiction gaming has to offer. Now, Halo does have its fair share of problems, but thankfully, the rest of the game more than makes up for them. The highlight of the game is of course the story. Without spoiling anything for those few who haven't experienced it yet, just know that the story follows a super soldier called Master Chief during a galactic war between mankind and an alien collective called the Covenant, along with the discovery of a mysterious ringworld. Along the way, you'll meet unforgivable characters like Sergeant Johnson, Captain Keyes, and of course, Cortana, who is by now a staple of both the series and the company Microsoft. The story is exceptionally amazing, except for the beginning. The game doesn't explain anything and simply tosses you into one of the deepest ends of the pool I have ever seen. Thankfully, you'll eventually catch on as the story continues, and by the end of the game, you'll be pretty familiar with everything dealing with the story. If you can, however, watch the animated film Halo: The Fall of Reach. While the voice acting isn't all that great, it manages to fill you in on the backstory of Halo without spoiling anything that happens in the series. The story is further helped by the exceptional audio. Voice acting is at its best here, and while normally video games have terrible voice acting as a rule, Halo breaks the rule and has not only strong, solid performances, but witty writing that helps make the characters feel all the more real. Voice work isn't the only highlight of the audio, however. Sound effects of weapons, aliens, explosions, and vehicles all sound impressive, but the real star of the game is the musical score. It's rare when I find myself humming a game soundtrack to myself. However, Halo's soundtrack is just that good. The developers of this game should be lauded for their choice in hiring Martin O'Donnell to score what is one of gaming's best musical scores. The gameplay is fantastic, focusing mostly on shooting aliens. There is a nice amount of vehicles you can drive throughout the game, all of which operate very well. The best aspect of combat, however, is the weapons. There are two sets of weapons, human and covenant weapons. Human weapons allow for throwing out a lot of firepower and plenty of ammo found throughout the levels. Covenant weapons are more powerful but can't be reloaded due to man's limited knowledge of alien technology. It's a nice balance between the two. That, along with multiple types of enemies, with plenty of variation between them, and you have the makings of one hell of an FPS game. However, there are two major problems with the campaign. First off, is that while the art design is unmatched, the level design is downright terrible. Worst of which are the levels that take place aboard both human and covenant vessels. Essentially, these massive Goliath ships are nothing but hallway after hallway with a slightly different looking room every now and then. Worst of all is with the supposed engine room on the human vessel, the Pillar of Autumn. I say supposed because the engine room doesn't feel like an engine room and feels more like a cafeteria. If it wasn't for Cortana telling me that I had reached the engine room, I wouldn't have realized it. The other blaring problem is that the main character Master Chief never, outside of cutscenes, feels like a super soldier. The most that Master Chief can do is flip over upside down vehicles, float jump slightly higher than other units, and that's it. Master Chief is supposedly capable of lifting hundreds upon hundreds of pounds. However, when he punches an enemy, they simply fall back, and he can only wield two weapons. It would be nice in future iterations for Chief to actually feel like a super soldier. The visuals are for the most part okay. Keep in mind that this is a game that came out back in 2001, so it isn't going to look as good as other games. Character models are undeniably blocky. However, environments have managed to stand up to the test of time. Even after all these years, they'll still look that good. Admittedly, the game doesn't offer much in replayability. The campaign is short but sweet. A speedrun can easily be finished in a single day, and I doubt that multiplayer is still active for PCs. There is a level select and multiple difficulties, but the real extent of your playtime will be focused on replaying the story a couple of times. And finally, Halo can be found on Xbox, PC, Xbox 360, and the Xbox One. The Xbox and PC versions are the lowest in graphical quality, but still contain the core game. The 360 and Xbox One version are a remastered port of the original game with a revamped graphics engine and additional features. If you can, the 360 or Xbox One version is the one to get, but you'll do just fine with the original Xbox and PC version if you have to. Halo is without a doubt an achievement in video games. By the time the post-credit scene rolled, I was hooked and didn't want the roller coaster to end. Keep in mind that Halo dropped the ball with failing to convey the feeling of being a super soldier, but the story is one that anyone who is interested in gaming should experience.